Welcome back. Everybody's making the Groundhog Day joke, so why not us? It may be January 4th, but it does feel a lot like Groundhog Day in Capitol Hill. We're now awaiting final word from the clerk that the House has failed to elect a speaker in its 6th attempt. We then expect the House will try to adjourn so Republicans can huddle off the floor about next steps. And what better person to talk to right now than somebody who's, I think, got his ear to the ground on this. I know he was hoping to get a resolution soon. It's Congressman James Comer, who I think is going to be a committee chair when there is a Congress. He's a Republican from Kentucky. He's been supporting Kevin McCarthy. Congressman Comer, thank you for taking a few minutes with me here. So, all right, now what?
Well, I think next we're going to adjourn, and hopefully we can conference and once and for all get an agreement on a Speaker of the House and move on and begin our agenda, I guess, the following day.
Why do you think your argument, I thought you made what I think is a very logical argument of, okay, guys, you know, there's a lot of things we want to get done. We can't even start. You can't do the job you want to do, that you've pledged to do, until you agree on a speaker. Why do you think that hasn't moved these 20 colleagues of yours?
Yeah, that would be a question you would have to pose to them. I mean, you know, this is something that I think long term, honestly, is going to be good for us. This is a display of democracy, but it shows how hard it is to get to 218. And a lot of those guys have never served in a legislative body before. They've never been in the majority. So they don't, you know, probably don't understand that no one's ever going to get 100% of what you want. You've just got to make your best case and fight for the best deal you can get. And in our situation, 87% of our conference supports Kevin McCarthy. And, you know, 100% of the time in the past, that would have been good enough for Kevin to be Speaker of the House.
I got it up to 91%, actually. I think it's 91% of the voting conference has supported him. When my son brings home a 91, I'm ecstatic these days. So that's you would think would work. Let me ask you this. How much of this is a political issue and how much of this is a personal issue?
Well, unfortunately, I think a lot of it's personal, and we've got to put that behind us. And, you know, this is something that you look at this unique conference we have with a narrow majority. We all represent very different parts of America. We all have different ideologies. So it's going to be very difficult for anyone to get to 218, any leader, whether it's Kevin McCarthy or whomever. So, but if you look at Kevin McCarthy's record, he's been in this business a long time, and it's very difficult, as we're witnessing right here in real time. It's very difficult to get to 218, but I do think Kevin's the right guy for the job. He has the experience. He certainly has the patience. We're seeing that on the floor today, and I think that's what it's going to take for us to be successful over the next 2 years.
Speaking of patience, and you talked about this, you think long-term this could be healthy, even if it's painful to watch short-term. What is patience days? Is it weeks? Is this something, because one of the issues we discussed here before you came on is the fact that this is a fight inside the party that's been delayed, I'd argue, for a decade. Right. Maybe it's time to have it out in the open.
Yeah, I think it's time to have it out in the open. I even told Kevin about 2 hours ago, I think that they should have negotiations in public, invite the press in, have how many of those 20.
It's going to leak anyway, right?
It's going to leak anyway, and sometimes between the leak and the reporting, it gets a little misconstrued sometimes. But at the end of the day, I would have a public forum and let everyone see what the holdup is on trying to get to 218. I think that's the last option. That's what Kevin's going to have to do, and I've already given him that advice.
This is what's frustrating, frankly, for a lot of people, and I think it's frustrating for members of Congress. I've interviewed quite a few of them. It's frustrating when people ask me, so what's the sticking point? And I'm always like, I don't know. If somebody asked you what was the sticking point, what would you answer?
Well, I can't answer that either. It seems like the sticking point has moved. It seems like the goalposts have moved a little bit. But, you know, if I'm wrong, I would give them an opportunity to come forward and negotiate with Kevin in public. I think Kevin should do that. Look, if the sticking point is motion to vacate and those guys want to drop it down to a threshold of 1, I'm fine with that. Let's move on, because at the end of the day, the motion to vacate is a gimmick. It's a political gimmick. It's a parliamentary move, just like motion to adjourn. There's really no difference. So at the end of the day, if we have a motion to vacate with a threshold of 1, and somebody wants to make that motion every day, then so be it. Once the press quits reporting about it, like the motions to adjourn that happen almost daily, then I think they'll stop with that. If that's the holdup, give them the motion to vacate with a threshold of 1, and let's move on with our agenda.
But if that was the holdup, don't you think that concession would have been made?
Well, I've heard varying degrees. Some people said it's been dropped down to 5. That's what's in our rules package now, a threshold of 5. But certainly the majority of our conference doesn't want to fool with that motion to vacate because, again, it's like a parliamentary gimmick that can just eat up the clock. It's just a stall tactic. And we've seen today that people are willing to do whatever to stall the inevitable. I mean, we're inevitably going to have a Speaker of the House, hopefully within the next 24 hours. But, if that's the delay, if we can have a public forum and everyone can agree that's the one thing to hold up, I'm willing to give it, make it a threshold of 1, and let's move forward.
Is it your sense that we're done voting today, or do you think this is a dinner adjournment as opposed to an overnight one?
Well, that's a great question, Chuck. I would bet that we're done for the day, but who knows? We're in uncharted territory, and I'm just right now sitting in the back row watching it play out. Unfortunately, I was a part of the initial negotiations, but like you said earlier, the negotiations have changed so much over the past 3 weeks. I don't even know what we're negotiating for now.
Let me ask you this: what is your setup? What patience do you have? Are you willing to? Do you think Kevin McCarthy ought to fight this for days?
Well, I will tell you this. It's gotten to the point to where even some people that might not be as strong a McCarthy supporter as others are to the point, we can't let a minority portion of our conference win all these battles, because this is just one of many battles we're going to have. And a battle to get to 218 on an appropriations bill, a battle to get to 218 on the NDAA, on the farm bill, and other important measures. So it's going to be tough to get to 218. It's a tough job. That's why, really, other than I guess you're seeing Byron Donalds and Kevin McCarthy, nobody has stepped up to run for that right now.
Although Byron Donalds says he doesn't want the job. He's allowed
I love Byron. He's on my committee. He's a great guy. But, he's been here 2 years. McCarthy's been here a long time.
Yeah.
I'm one of the guys that think experience matters when you're trying to whip to get to 218, because as we're seeing in real time, it's going to be very difficult to get to 218.
James Comer, Republican from Kentucky. At some point, he'd like to be the chairman of the Oversight Committee. We will see what happens. Thanks for coming on and sharing your perspective with us, sir. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.